But let's talk about 18% of U.S. adults have taken GLP-1 drugs. What's the concern? Well, I thought about this because I always look at what people are doing. And Eli Lilly, their stock is on fire. They're doing so great. But you got to get the diet drug companies because they're doing so well. We spend 15, 20 hours of research before we get into things. So I want to share some of the research on these companies so you understand, wait a minute, there's more to it than just buying, quote unquote, a hot stock. Now, the price of GLP-1 drugs have come down, which means less profits now, I'm just realizing as well. But in roughly 18% of adults in the U.S. are now using them. But there are other considerations outside of just weight loss. These drugs come out to treat type 2 diabetes and obesity, not as a lifestyle change to lose 20 or 30 pounds. It is estimated that about half of the people who stop taking the drug after 1 year will probably be very disappointed with their future weight management.
I don't mean this as a dig, but it might come off that way. I don't personally know anybody that is taking the GLP-1s as a lifestyle change. But again, 18%, that's 1 in 5 people almost. And
I do.
Okay. I was going to say, I wonder how many
You're
people...
younger, maybe.
I am,
yeah.
but I'm going to say, I wonder how many people would admit to it, or if they want to kind of pat themselves on the back and say, yeah, it's my workout plan, my diet, I'm working hard at it. I'm curious, of those 18%, how many actually admit to being on the GLP-1s? And again, I know we have clients, I know people that are taking them or did take them for the diabetes reason, but again, I don't know about the lifestyle change. So.
And there's problems we'll talk about at the end, why you shouldn't be doing it.
Kind of to that point, studies have shown that when people stop taking the drug within about a year and a half, they regain most of the weight they lost. Studies also show that the weight gain comes 4 times faster than those who lost weight through normal dieting. While on these drugs, people see their blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood glucose levels improved, but when they're off the drug in a little over a year, well, those levels, they go back to where they were.
Yeah, and there's so many factors with that because it just, you're off the drug, and I guess it curbs your appetite. So when you have no curb there, you're just going to, I'm hungry, I got to eat. And you eat and you eat and you eat more than you did before is a problem. And Kevin Hall, he's a former senior investigator with the National Institute of Health, and he's also a specialist in nutrition. He says, once you're off the drugs, your appetite will be much higher than it was, and you could even end up overeating, which leads to taking in too many calories. Another study shows people who gain the weight back and decide to go back on the medication. This I did not know. This was surprising to me, that it's not as successful the second, third, or even the fourth time around. Each time you go off it and then you get back on it, it's not going to be successful. I don't know if your body becomes adapt to it or immune to it or whatever, but it doesn't work as good the second, third time you go back on it.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of surprising to me, I guess. But the thing I look at is with these drugs, and this is the thing that kind of scares me, right, is you said it curbs your appetite. Well, it's doing something to your brain chemistry to do that. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what's going on with it.
But we are analysts, so we analyze data is what we do.
But not even the data side.
Right.
I'm just saying logically, like, that concerns me a little bit, right? Like, what is it doing to your brain? It's switching off some type of receptor that is maybe curbing your desire for food, your excitement around food. Is it also long-term going to have other issues on your brain chemistry? I don't know, not a doctor, so not really an analytical point of view either on the number side. This is kind of a thought that I have with these drugs is they are still relatively new, and people maybe that have been taking them for years that have diabetes or other concerns. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It's just something that I do worry about, I guess, if I was on this drug.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Another thing, too, is people don't realize a thing called weight cycling or gaining and losing weight and how that can affect the percent of fat to muscle. It is estimated that when you lose weight, about 25 to 30% of it is muscle. But the sad part is when you have the weight gain after you're off the drugs, it is unfortunately more fat than muscle. So as you can see, this is not a good cycle or a good plan for 10 to 20 years. If one thinks it is a good idea just to stay on these drugs for life, again, outside of maybe the long-term risk I just brought up, there are other long-term risks such as gallbladder diseases, pancreatitis, and kidney damage.
And that's one that worries me because kidney damage is one that would really, again, I said worries me because as you get older, you have more pain and you want to relieve that pain by taking like Advil or ibuprofen. But doctors now, and I do this like with a doctor, they check your kidneys to see if you can handle it because, your kidneys aren't functioning well. then you got to suffer with the pain, and these drugs can hurt that. So you want to be careful of that, which, again, you don't want all these strain on your kidneys, and being concerned about how you look and taking the easy way out to look better by popping a pill or taking an injection may cause you to have regrets, as I said, when you're older, because I'll tell you, I won't tell you how old I am, but it's like you do start having pain. Like, gosh, you get up in the morning like, ow, what? That hurts.
Yeah, I just always kind of view it, right, as when you do it for a year or two, you didn't really change your lifestyle, right? You
Right.
popped a pill. So it almost has to be a long-term thing, because you're not just going to all of a sudden take the pill and then one day wake up and be like, I am going to go to the gym 4 days a week. I am going to only eat vegetables and meat and eat healthy and change my lifestyle. Being on that drug doesn't change that for you. So the moment you pop off of it, if you didn't make the changes, you're not going to keep the weight off. So it has to be a long-term thing, which raises concern about that. And, they keep talking about how big the market is for this space. And I got to say, I remain skeptical, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 5-10 years from now, how large is this market actually going to be? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out.
And again, you brought up the point about the weight cycling. I don't think people realize that, and it's going to be very disappointing on their second, third trip around, because, and the expenses, and I really question, should the insurance companies be paying this? I mean, we pay so much for insurance. People complain about insurance going up. Well, if everybody's taking these because they need to lose 20, 30 pounds, and the insurance companies have to pay for it, health insurance companies have to pay for it, that's a problem. I mean, that was not fixed into it. And then, well, my health insurance premium is so high. Yeah, because everybody's abusing the system. It should be for health, not for weight management. But and I do worry about competition for Eli Lilly coming in from other companies, because everybody's trying to get the hot drug pill.
I mean, and we know that Pfizer, they just bought Metsera for $10 billion. We know, obviously, Novo Nordisk is the other major player currently. I think there's also one called like Viking Therapeutics or something
there's
that
a
has
few
a
out
decent
there,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is something you have to be aware of if you hold Lilly, because I think that is obviously the big reason they are, I believe now, the most valuable pharma company.
I believe you're right.